right, so here are the tier lists we have for. So when I texted John about this, John, I sent you a text saying that this would be about Trump's cabinet picks, but I changed it to Trump's loyalists because I want to put Elon Musk on there. Honestly, is the main reason, and one of the categories wasn't a cabinet member. So, all right. So, can you read this? Is this big enough, John?
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So the first tier is going to be the Scaramucci tier: fired, hilarious failure, and a disgrace. And the second tier is the Ben Carson tier: eternal loyalist, gold medal simp. Then we have the John Kelly, General John Kelly tier. Will they be forced out, get bitter, and start talking shit? The Mike Pence tier, loyal until Trump literally tries to murder them. And then the Ashley Babbitt tier, dies like a dog. Okay, that's what we have for our category. So, John, in the spirit of Donald Trump, I'm going to keep
dies
this.
like a dog. That's pretty mean, TJ. We just did this whole thing. Oh, how dare Elon comparing them to dogs?
No, that's a Donald Trump thing. He always says that. He always says dies like a dog. Yeah. He always says that. That's why I put it on there. All right. So, okay. Oh, that's right. That's another reason I put Trump loyalist, because Ashley Babbitt wasn't a cabinet member, obviously. And so, yeah, we get what's going on. All right. So the first person we have is Elon Musk. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot to finish my statement here. So, John, in the spirit of Donald Trump, I would like this. Well, it actually has to be undemocratic. There's only two of us. So we're going to bounce back and forth, and each of us will get to say on where this one goes. So you can go first. We'll start with Elon Musk, and I guess you'll end first. So Elon Musk, I think Elon Musk, it's a gamble, but I don't think he's long for the Trump administration. I think that he's going to overplay his hand. He's like, do you see that he had a meeting with Modi today? He's sitting down, shaking hands with a foreign leader in front of the American flag and the Turkish flag. His son accidentally slipped some shit talking to Donald Trump that he definitely heard from his old man, saying that actually I'm the president and everything. So I would vote to put Elon Musk in the Scaramucci tier. But what do you think, John?
No, so here's the thing. If we were to have done this tier list the day before Trump took office, I would have 1,000% put Elon in the Scaramucci tier. I feel like we're already past it. I forget exactly how long Scaramucci is.
Yeah, Scaramucci's 9 days. I don't mean like that quickly, but like, just fired. Yeah.
I did not suspect this marriage to last very long. I think they're gonna stick with this, and he's gonna either end up in the forced out, gets bitter, talk shit, or loyal until Trump tries to murder him. And this is the question I've actually been bouncing between, because both of them clearly think they're the alpha in the relationship. At some point, push is going to come to shove, and one of them is going to find out who the alpha is. And I bet you it's the one with the full backing of the United States military, which is why he could go into forced out, starts talking shit. But like, I feel like the stakes are already too high. He either is loyal until Trump tries to murder him, or he dies like a dog. I think he has the power to stop himself from dying like a dog. I would put him in the Pence loyal until Trump tries to murder him tier, because that just seems like the only way out. Like, they're going to try and kill each other, in the secession way, where they say like kill when they mean like, disempower. But like, I don't know. I think Elon Musk, as I said in the beginning of the show, he's hit his peak, and it's going to flame out in amazing fashion. I don't know what it's going to be, but he can only stay loyal to Donald Trump. It's his only path forward. But like, eventually he's going to become a liability for Trump, and that's when we're going to start to see the fireworks. What do you think, TJ?
Yeah, it can't last forever. It just can't. They're two guys who want to be in charge, and Musk is definitely loving the fact that he is the de facto president of the United States. He loves it. He's not going to be able to keep that to himself. He's going to talk about it at home, like he's definitely done in front of his son, and people are going to get word of it, and Trump's not going to. Now, because Trump doesn't really need Musk anymore. Right? I mean, I don't see why he would. Like, he can't take the presidency.
That's why I say that. I thought he was going to be a Scaramucci. I thought, and again, people, my haters out there, I was wrong. I said on this show that Doge was putting him at the fucking kids' table, giving him an unplugged-in controller and saying, hey, you can play Call of Duty with me too. That is not the case. He has something with Trump. There's something there. I don't know what it is. It's more powerful than any other relationship to Trump. No one else can do what Elon has done. So he's got something.
Did you see when someone asked Donald Trump if he considered JD Vance to be a successor? And he said no. Did you see that? That was so great. That was so great.
So funny. So funny.
I love it. I love how he goes. I don't think he likes JD Vance. He goes out his way to shit on him more often than I thought. When JD Vance seemed like he was dragging Trump's numbers down, he said, listen, the vice president pick doesn't matter. Historically, it doesn't. I was like, Jesus, this guy's really going to town on Vance. So I like that Vance has kind of disappeared. And I almost preemptively put Vivek Ramaswamy in the fired and hilarious disgrace because he didn't make it. Like, he was gone immediately. I think before Trump even took office, or like the week he did. So yeah,
I feel like he would be forced out, gets bitter, talk shit. Like I think Vivek, I think he has seen that he's not going to like rise to power under Trump, and he might be setting himself up to be a turncoat when it's convenient for him. That's where I see Vivek's trajectory going here, but we will see.
All right. So, you get first crack this time. We have newly sworn in Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Well, what do you think of our Fox News host, Secretary of Defense? Did you see that he brought back Fort Bragg as the name of Fort Bragg, North Carolina? Did you see that? He wrote an order about that. Did you hear his rationale? That was actually really funny.
I have not heard the rationale now.
Okay, it's I have to admit it's kind of funny because, so for those of you who don't know, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, which is where I was born and I served there until 2014, I think, when I went to Indiana. But Fort Bragg is named after a Confederate general named Braxton Bragg. And you didn't know that because that's the only thing anybody knows about Braxton Bragg. He was a fucking loser general. There was nothing significant or of note to him other than the fact that he led an army for the sole purposes of creating a traitorous state that existed to keep Black people in slavery in perpetuity as a part of their constitution. Like, the Confederate Constitution says that Black people can never be set free. So the United States military said, okay, let's not name our bases after these Confederate generals like Polk and Bragg and Benning. So the rest of the bases got names. They named it after somebody else, like Fort, Bensavita or something like that. But for Fort Bragg, they changed it to Fort Liberty. Like, after the concept of liberty, like that, not after a person, which sounds shitty and lame. I hated that.
Also, weird for a military base. Like,
well, no, I mean, come on, this is the military that liberates all the people around the world, And so they changed to Fort Liberty, shitty name. Like, I hate saying it sounds awful, but now it's Fort Bragg again. But it's not named after Braxton Bragg. It's named after some private in World War II who won an award for like driving an ambulance through German fire or something like that. And yeah, so they named it Fort Bragg again, but it's not named after the Confederate general. And I said, you know what? Points for being clever. I got to tell you.
That's exactly what I thought.
I have to admit.
Game, respect, game.
Yeah, right?
That's good. That's pretty. It didn't matter anyway.
No.
And so the fact that you actually, because they don't do that work usually. They don't usually try to come up with a reasonable explanation. So the fact that they did and it works, I'm all right with it.
You know what? So funny because I want to be mad, but
it's a good Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg's a good name. I hate to admit it. It sounds tough.
Man. Ever since they changed it to I've been so annoyed when they changed it to Fort Liberty. Fort Liberty sounds like fucking garbage. That is a terrible name. It's awful. Fort Bragg sounds baller as hell. I love the way Fort Bragg sounds. I know it's named after Braxton Bragg. And look, in fact, I still called it Fort Bragg on occasion because it's just like, it's what we all called it. And now it's Fort Bragg again. It's too bad that it shares in Confederate, but fine. If we want to be technical about it, it's named after stuff. We know why you did it, but whatever, fine. But you're right. Game recognized game. I had to give him points on that. So where do we think he's going to last in the Trump administration? What do you think, John?
I would say, so I would maybe put him in the eternal loyalist camp because I think that is, what he would do. I don't think that he's skilled enough to not get forced out. Like, I think at some point this alcoholic serial sexual assaulter is going to do something that gets him forced out. And when that happens, he's going to start talking shit.
All right. I think that's a good guess. I think it, but I'm going to differ slightly. And it's mainly because of your last point. For those of you who don't know what John mentioned, Pete Hegseth is a chronic alcoholic. Like Pete Hegseth has had a lot of problems with this. It's been a comment on Fox News, amongst his friends, amongst his relatives. They talk about his alcohol abuse and everything. And he's only he's like my age. I think he's like in his early 40s or mid 40s or something like that. And, he's graying pretty bad already. He's always working out. He's in great shape, but I don't think his heart's going to be able to keep up with this. So I am going with our first dies like a dog.
I'm having a feeling that this is just going to be a bit where TJ's going to kill every single person.
John, come on. You know me better than this, John. I'm not some fucking hack that's going to make a joke category just so I can throw everyone in there. John, come on. Pete Hegseth. That's my legitimate thought here. Pete Hegseth dies like a dog. All right. All right, so, I know I like saying it like Trump says it. Okay. Pam Bondi. So Pam Bondi was nominated for Attorney General after what's his name? Matt Gaetz dropped out of the race. And what I do got to say that I respect about Pam Bondi is she did something that I've always thought I would do if I was nominated to one of these cabinet positions, where you could be nominated by the president, but you don't get the job unless you're confirmed by the Senate. And you got to sit there all afternoon or two while they grill you with these questions. And they got people from the opposition party, combing through everything you ever said or coming up with these scenarios so they can do gotcha clips and for their commercials and for their advertising and everything like that. And I said, you don't got to answer those questions. You don't. You just got to sit there. Yeah, no one can force you to say anything. And about halfway through her interview, she said, I don't actually have to answer these things. I don't. And I was like, I'm shocked more people don't do that. So respect to her for that, but terrible person, everything like that. But if I were to guess with Pam Bondi, I don't know a ton about her, but from what I've seen, I would guess that she would be in the Ben Carson category, like a loyalist sent to the end. I don't see it.
She will stay an eternal loyalist as Donald Trump calls her Ivanka to her face. Like that is. In fact, I would bet so much money that has already happened.
Yes, she does. I can see that. Yeah, don't expect a whole lot out of Pam Bondi, but I do expect her to be loyal to Trump. Okay. All right, so you're first up on this one, John. Doug Burgum. For those of you who don't know who Doug Burgum is, because I didn't know who he was until this last election cycle. He was the governor of North Dakota and some billionaire apparently. And Doug Burgum, he kind of looks like in fact, let me pull up a bigger picture of him here. Doug Burgum looks like a more evil Gavin Newsom.
I was going to say the same thing, TJ. I was going to say it's just you tweak evil up a little bit on because Gavin Newsom looks evil, but you just tweak up the evil and you got Burgum. Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Yeah. I think he looks like a more evil Gavin Newsom. I don't know a whole lot, but it's weird. I couldn't believe that. What was he now? Department of Secretary of the Interior is what Doug Burgum is. And he also did as far as I know, his first official act as Secretary of the Interior by renaming Mount McKinley and the Gulf of Mexico. And yeah, so where do we go with Doug Burgum here, John? What do you think?
I don't know where to put it. I think fired hilariously, fairly, or disgrace. Like, I feel like that's where he's headed because he doesn't have the juice. He doesn't give me loyalist vibes. Like, there's going to be something very funny that comes out about him, and it's going to be politically convenient to drop him, and he's going to get fired as a failure and a disgrace. That's got to be where he ends. He's too rich to die like a dog. So, and I don't think he really carries enough cachet to anyone to give a shit if he gets bitter and talks shit. So yeah, I would say that. And he's just not important enough to threaten to murder. So yeah, I think fired hilarious is a disgrace. That's where he ends up.
Well, all right. So Doug Burgum was an interesting cat. I didn't know a whole lot about him, but I want to show a picture of him to all you guys and to John too to my point here. But this is Doug Burgum. I want you, I hate putting people on the spot like this, John, but I want you to guess how old Doug Burgum is.
60.
Wow, really? Huh? No, he's 68. He's 60. That's weird. I think he looks older than 68. I think he looks a lot older. He looks really bad to me.
It's hard for me to tell.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you said anything, I wouldn't say he's just not enough wrinkles to quite be 70. In the forehead, it's a little maybe he's got some good Botox. I don't know. But yeah, I would have guessed 60s.
Huh. So yeah, the pictures I ever see of Doug Burgum, he always looks really strange. He always looks really weird. Like I said, he looks like an evil Gavin Newsom. I think he's got some sort of disorder. Like I do. I think there's something going on with, and he's not like the most energetic person I've ever seen. He's always got some sort of like, you heard him talk, it's all funky and weird, but you know where this is going, John. I think Doug Burgum is going to die like a dog. That's what I think about Doug Burgum here. I just don't think he has what it takes. Like you said, like his juice is just not there. He doesn't have it in him. So I don't know if he's going to make it all 4 years. So, all right, let's go to our next. John, you can't make me laugh here. I'm trying to do the show. Okay. All right. Kristi Noem. What do you think of Kristi Noem? I guess I'm going first here. Now, listen, of course, with Kristi Noem, my immediate guess would be die like a dog, because that's what she deserves, right? I mean, that's obviously where I would go with this, but it's not my turn. I did this on purpose. So, like, Kristi Noem is not who I'm going to sentence here. So, die like a dog would be too easy. Only a fucking hack would do something like that. So, I'm going to say that I think Kristi Noem is fired and has a hilarious disgrace, because do you remember when Kristi Noem like let it slip in her book that she went to North Korea when she like didn't have the clearance to do it or something? I can see her doing something like that, fucking it up. She's too busy putting on the Barbie costumes and like the cowboy hats and everything. I see her fucking up somewhere and being fired sometime soon. Maybe she got a job, by the way. Why do you feel the loyalty to Kristi Noem? I don't understand that. What do you think, John?
Well, okay, so to answer that question realistically,
oh sure,
she kept going on that fucking tour.
She did, man. She did.
Wow. And Donald Trump was like, pretty girl, willing to eat shit.
Yeah.
My type of fucking cabinet member.
Yeah.
As much as I say that is my actual serious assessment. It sounds like a joke, but that is my actual serious assessment of what went through Donald Trump's mind. But I will say, TJ, as much as you're like, I don't know, it would be a hack thing. She's got to die like a dog. Of everyone on this list who deserves to die like a dog, I want her child, who she told she murdered their dog. I want them to be the one. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I want a dog to shoot her. That is
that's great.
The karmatic justice.
Oh, that's great.
She dies in a dog attack.
That's great. I love that. Yeah, some revenge right there. I can't remember the dog's name, but getting revenge for the grave. I'd love that. All right. So Marco Rubio is up next.
It's really funny, DJ, if these people do end up dying. By the end of the next 4 years, these people are dead.
We have nothing to do with it. We did not buy Doug Burgum voodoo dolls or something. Trust me, we didn't do anything like that. But all right, so next up we have Marco Rubio, who is somehow the Secretary of State. I don't know, like a lot of Trump's picks surprised me. Marco Rubio's blew me away. I mean, I didn't even know he liked Marco Rubio. I just like, of all the people he could have picked, and what I don't know, and Secretary of State, it's such a big important fucking job. I don't know. I was kind of surprised to see that. But as far as what I think is going to happen, Marco Rubio knows what he's doing. He is one of the smarter Republicans, which I know isn't saying a lot, but I don't see incompetent idiots. People give him a lot of shit because he fumbled drinking that glass of water and fucked up his speech for the, what was it? The answer, the response to this.
It was the rebuttal. The
rebuttal.
Yeah, that was so funny.
People always get shit about that, but no one has ever done a good one, right? Like it seems like a death sentence. I can't remember anyone was like, wow, they crushed that State of the Union rebuttal. So if you're in politics and you get picked for that, say, no, I'm sick that day. Sorry, I can't do it. But my guess for Rubio seems to be a guy in it for the long haul. Like I think he would want to stick around for it, but Trump is going to do something to piss him off, or he'll piss Trump off. I see him solidly in the John Kelly territory of working for a few years, either quitting or getting fired and talking shit later, because that he did try that move back in 2015 or whatever, like talking shit against Trump and everything. So I know he has it in him. That's my guess. What do you think, John?
I think I agree with that, because Marco Rubio, of all of the cabinet picks, while you said it's surprising because it's the most normal. Like
it is. It's very normal.
You would have told me any Republican picked Marco Rubio to be their Secretary of State, I'd be like, yeah, checks out. He's a fairly normal Secretary of State pick for a Republican president. Secretaries of State is it just me or do they typically not last? Like there's usually, like, if I were to bet on the average Secretaries of State per 4-year term, I would say 1.8. Like they don't typically last the whole way through. That might just be weirdly, like, in my lifetime, there's been a lot of change ups in the position. Like Hillary entered as secretaries. Like Obama had multiple Secretaries of State. Did Biden have multiple Secretaries of State? I don't think he did.
I don't know. Yeah, I should check that out.
I think Marco Rubio, I think you're right. Like he will diligently do his dick sucking of Donald Trump until it is no longer politically convenient for him to do so, and then he'll talk shit. That does seem to be a pretty good spot to put him in.
All right, so I did check on this, and it looks like Blinken was Biden's Secretary of State the entire way through.
Okay, yeah.
Pompeo was Secretary of State for 3 years. Rex Tillerson was Secretary of State for 1 year under Trump. John Kerry for 4 years. All right, so it's decent enough. It's a 3 or 4 years.
I think 1.8 was a pretty good average there.
Yeah, Tillerson was an anomaly. Tillerson was Secretary of State for 1 year. Rex Tillerson was a weird one too, because Rex Tillerson, he wasn't a politician at all. Rex Tillerson was like the CEO of Exxon or something, and Trump made him Secretary of State. That was kind of an odd one, but. All right, so we're in agreement there. That's good. All right, John, so you're first up the bat on our most fun one. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I can't tell you how sad it was when I was searching for these images that I typed in RFK without putting the junior, like just RFK. And I wondered what it would give me. Of course, it gave me the living one, but like, man, it's kind of sad you put in RFK, that you get RFK Jr. and not RFK Sr. That's kind of indicative of what our nation's become. And I also wondered, what about the QAnon folks? You remember the QAnon folks kept saying that Trump was going to run with JFK Jr.? He was going to come back from the dead. You remember they kept, I wonder what they're thinking these days. It's like, oh, the Kennedys would have worked, but JFK Jr., maybe he's actually dead. I'm curious to look into that. But anyway, what do you think? What tier do you put old Bobby in?
So now I'm starting to think that you're just giving me the people that are going to die like a dog, so that I put them in the die in the dog category, because he's got a fucking worm in his brain, TJ. like of all, like he is old, and it's shocking that he's still alive. Like I look at this man, I go, I can't believe you are still alive. He's clearly on some something to be as cut as he is at his age. I don't think he makes it through the next 4 years. I don't know if he dies like a dog. But of all the people who I think have the highest death probability on this list, it's RFK.
RFK. All right. So, yeah, RFK is interesting.
He dies of some very random fucking, like, he might get hit by an asteroid, TJ. That sounds like an RFK fate to me.
It's RFK is an interesting guy. Like the food he's eaten, he's eaten like bear meat and dog meat, and he strapped like a dead whale on top of his van because he thought that, I don't know, I remember what he said, but like he said, yeah, we're going to take there's a really weird story where he admitted, well, I accidentally hit a bear cub with my car, as one does. We've all done it, right? Whomst among us hasn't done this? And he said, so I thought it'd be really funny to take the bear's corpse and put it on a bike trail and like leave an old bike next to it or something to make it look like a biker had hit the bear and killed it. And it was like, you can find the news clips of the next day where the people was like, something happened to this bear. And it was like 20 years ago. And he admitted it last year, said, what? This is just, I guess someone found out about it. He was trying to, announce it before they blew the cover on it, but weird fucking dude, right?
Yeah, it's weird, but I gotta respect the commitment to the bit there. That is to hold it for 20 years. That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
And RFK is just a dog shit person. I mean, even for Kennedy, he's just a real scumbag. You guys check out the story about his ex-wife, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s ex-wife found a journal he was keeping and found out that he was cheating on her with like 38 different women. And
impressive, honestly. Like I can't imagine the logistics,
the time, right?
Like the time. Like I barely have enough time to hang out with my own fiance. You're telling me that you can like have successful relationships with 38 other women and keep it a secret from your wife for that long? That's insane. I don't know how you actually have a real job if you're doing that.
Yeah, these folks don't have real jobs. That's true that they don't. Yeah. And he had like a rating system next to them, like through 1 to 10 and everything like that. And she saw this journal and she hung herself. So yeah, and he moved on with his life. What are you gonna do? So I don't know. And of course, he has the weird, hole in his head and everything like that. And he's a fucking Kennedy. So yeah, of course, dies like a dog. I mean, what else can you do? Where else could he possibly go right here? But
there's really no other option here.
There really isn't. Like, I wanted to get cute and like switch it up on, but honestly, I got nothing. Like, I got nothing on this one. Like, he has to go in that tier. Okay. Next, we have supervillain Tulsi Gabbard, who's our new director of intelligence or whatever. Where I would put Tulsi Gabbard, she's an interesting one to me because Tulsi Gabbard, we mentioned how smart she is and how like shrewd. And I mean, shrewd, I don't know. Like we all saw her right-wing turn years ago before she ever announced it. It was really funny when she announced
she's done it more successfully than anyone else.
Yeah,
she's literally like you cannot disrespect the outcomes of the decision.
But I mean, the outcome is that Republicans love you and Democrats hate you. I mean, she was more, artful about it, I guess, but it's not like she has like a lot of support from the left anymore. And I don't know. I just feel she could have done it quicker and ripped the Band-Aid off because it's not fooling anyone, right? Republicans like, oh, look at that. She saw like, no, come on. And she's got this weird like cult she follows or whatever. I would say that if I had to pick one for Gabbard, I think Gabbard is going to stay loyal. Like, she's in this for the long haul. I don't see any reason. She's not going to be fired. She's too competent for that. She knows what she's doing. She's a minority. She's a woman. She'd be great to have on the crew. Why would she be forced out? She and Trump seem to agree on the stuff that matters, like loving Russian propaganda and everything. I can't see Trump getting mad enough to want to get her axed. So I would go with eternal loyalist for Gabbard.
So this is tough because I don't feel like she fits a category because I also don't think she'll simp. Like, she hasn't simped that much. Like, she to the level of a Ben Carson.
She's not Ben Carson. That's true.
Not Ben Carson. Like, she has more respect. I don't know. I think it's either eternal. I could also see her getting forced out and talking shit because that's kind of her thing. Like she got forced out of the Democratic Party, started talking shit. So I see no reason why she wouldn't do the same here.
All right, so we're putting her in the John Kelly tier then.
I think that's, again, I don't know if she'll be forced. I think she'll go out mostly on her own terms, but she will talk shit. That if there's one thing about Tulsi Gabbard, I know for sure is that she'll talk shit.
All right, I love it. All right, last but not least, we have Russell Vought, who is the new director of the Office of Management and Budget. For those of you who don't know, Russell Vought is the author of Project 2025 that Trump has definitely never heard of. He had no idea what was in it. John, John, you're up. What do you think is going to happen with Russell Vought?
So I really want him to die like a dog. That would be something I want. Unfortunately, I feel like he's one of the smarter people in this in these categories. He's loyal to the very end because he knows where his bread is buttered. Like, he'll do whatever the fuck he wants. He's got to be a Ben Carson loyalist, but he has more power than Ben Carson ever will in his entire life. But yeah, he's loyal to the very. I can't believe no one's in the Scaramucci tier. This is the thing. It's like when you're like, oh, how will these draft picks pan out? For whatever reason, I seem to think way more of them are going to pan out well than I know is statistically possible. So many of these people won't be here in 6 months, TJ. It's like, this is the thing we have to. Although the other thing is, he is hiring a lot of loyalists. Like, that's the other thing. It's like,
it's different than last
many
time.
of them. It's in the first administration. It's like, oh, they're being loyal to the country to some extent, or some other interest. He's just picking people who are loyal to him. So. Yeah, I don't know. I would put him in the Ben Carson tier, but I think he stays around mostly. That's why I'm putting him there.
All right, John. So I hope you're sitting down for this.
Oh,
I'm putting him in the first tier. Fired,
really?
Hilarious, failure, a disgrace. Yes, I am, because this is why. But with our first guy, with Elon Musk and everything, a lot of the stuff like the executive unit, the executive theory of power and everything, and slashing on the budgets, Trump's going to get carried away. He's going to get too carried away with actual Project 2025 shit. The stuff like the budget, the stuff that he's in charge of.
You need a head to roll.
Yes, I think he will need a head to roll. And who gives a flying fuck about Russell Vought? no one knew his name until October of last year. So if there's one guy I think who has a chance to be axed like by the end of the year, Vaught more than anybody else. I'm sure there's other people I have never heard of, whatever. But of this list, I am comfortably throwing this fastball here or curveball here and putting Russell Vaught in the Scaramucci tier. Obviously not gone after 9 days, but gone in 9-10 months. That's my prediction.
You have made an excellent TJ. You've sold me over to your position here.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, so it's just for funsies, anyways, folks. It's pretty good. So yeah. Oh, look at that! Just on time. We landed the plane. All right, so
I can't believe we landed this one, DJ.
That
this
was
such a grab bag of an episode.
Yes,
I really hope people enjoyed it. I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I watch these clips, but a lot of times when I go into it feeling like dog shit, tends to be a pretty good episode.
You're right. It happens sometimes. So good stuff, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. This is weird now. We can't end it the normal way because we can't do the toss back and forth and everything. We have to end it like a Tuesday show. Oh, actually, Tuesday I won't be able to record. That's after the show. Shit, I guess.
Yes,
I'll be out of town Tuesday. But
thank you everyone for watching this video. It's only me and TJ here today. There's no guest for you to go find, so you might as well fucking like this goddamn video and subscribe to us. TJ, what do you think that this person should do who's watching right now? I
think this person should watch the video lest they die. Like a dog. All right. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Okay.